Hi everyone, welcome back to the Book Brood. It's Heidi, and today I'm going to be doing the end of the year book tag, and the original was created by Ariel Bissett over at her channel, and I actually saw Simon from SavidgeReads do it, and he tagged everyone who's watching, so technically I guess that means I was tagged. I just thought this was really fun because I've been doing a lot of thinking about my reading for the coming year and my goals and plans and everything, so I'm just going to go through. There's 6 questions, and let's see. Question number 1. Are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? And yes, I have a tendency to start books and then leave my bookmark in them and just leave them on my shelf for years. But specifically, these 3 are the most recent. And the first one is The Trees by Ali Shaw, and I started this at the beginning of the month, and I think it's more beautiful on the outside than it is on the inside, which is a bit disappointing, but I knew that going into it. It didn't have great ratings, but it is a fascinating concept. I am less than 100 pages into it, but I do want to finish this one. Also, Snow Crash by Neil Stephenson, and Erin challenged me to read this towards the beginning of the year, and I only got 110 pages into it, and I really need to finish this in the next month. And the last one I just recently picked up, and I am flying through it pretty quick. The reason I'm adding it to this list is because it hit a point where I would normally probably just put a bookmark in it and put it on my shelf and just forget about it for 3 years because it's a bit slower in tone towards the end. But this is Chelsea Handler's You Gone to Be Kidding Me, and it's just celebrity humorous fluff book, but I hit like the 60% mark and it isn't as funny anymore, and so I would normally put it down, but I would like to finish it just so it counts towards my Goodreads goal. Okay, question number 2. Do you have any autumnal books to transition till the end of the year? And this is a weird question because to the rest of the world, it might be autumn, but as you can see, even though we have another month until winter officially starts, it feels like winter to me, and I'm full on in winter mode. So I guess 2 seasonal books for me to transition into the holiday season is kind of how I'm interpreting this question, even though it's totally not what it's intended to be for. But 2 books I want to get to in the next month. My True Love Gave to Me by a whole bunch of authors, short stories about Christmas, I guess. And then Miracle and Other Christmas Stories by Connie Willis, and another short story collection about Christmas. So I want to get to those 2 this year, or this month, I guess. Question number 3. Is there any new release you're still waiting for? Not unless Patrick Rothfuss finally decides to release his 3rd book. But no, it's the end of the year, and I don't think I know of anything coming out, honestly, until spring. I haven't been keeping a close eye on new releases. The next thing I'm anticipating is Kiersten White's 3rd book in her Vlad the Impaler series, which doesn't come out until like March, I think. So, question number 4. What are 3 books you want to read by the end of the year? And this one was difficult for me because I have been having a hard time picking up any physical books, even though I have over 200 physical books on my unread shelf that I need to get to. I've been listening to so many audiobooks because I can put my headphones in and multitask, and it's just much easier for me. But I have talked about these 3 several times on my channel, and I do really want to get to them, and I'm going to put forth more effort to actually get to them. Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. I was supposed to buddy read this with Allie from Hardback Hoarder months and months ago, and I never even picked it up. Who Fears Death by Nnedi Okorafor. I was talking about this at the beginning of the year, and I read The Book of Phoenix and absolutely loved it. It was like a 5-star, one of the best reads of the year for me book, and this is the sequel slash prequel to that, and I really need to get to this. And then this one is odd because I haven't heard anyone talk about this, but this is The Mouse and the Candle by Matthew S. Cox. And this sounds so dark and fantastic. This is about a priest who gets turned into a vampire and has this big philosophical problem, right? Obviously about, like, am I evil now, even though I've led my entire life as, you know, a good man. It sounds dark and fantastic, and I really want to get to this one as well. I've owned all 3 of those all year, and I have not got to them yet. I need to do that. Question number 5. Is there a book you think will still shock you and become your favorite of the year? Honestly, I don't think so. I am currently reading to a bunch of I'm currently listening to a bunch of audiobooks that are pretty good, but I have read some phenomenal books this year, and I honestly do not think anything could push out my top 5 already. I think they're solidly there to stay. And the last question is, have you already started making reading plans for 2018? Yes. And it goes back to looking at those 200 books on my unread shelf, and I need to prioritize them or get rid of them, honestly. And I need to stop buying physical books. I'm having a much better time with audiobooks and ebooks, and it's much easier to hold on to those when they're, you know, just in the cloud or on my phone or whatever. So starting next year, I'm going to be looking at some reading challenges. I know there's like Read Your Shelf, and there's a bunch of them where they make it fun to read your own books that you already own. I think next year I'm going to be on a solid no buy ban, whatever, book ban, and like shopping my own shelves. There's a whole bunch of like catchphrases and like plans and programs and whatever, and I need to follow at least 1 or 2 of them and actually work on my shelves. And that's it. So I'm going to do the same thing that Simon did. If you're watching this and you want to do this but you haven't done it already, then I tag you. And I hope you're all having a wonderful reading time here at the end of the year, and I will see you guys again soon. Okay, bye.